Welcome to the Biz Builders podcast, where we believe building the business of your dreams can change your life. I'm your host, Sandy Patterson, former teacher turned certified life and business coach. After 14 years of teaching, I took a huge leap, left my job, and built 2 successful businesses with no business or sales background. Now I'm living the life of my dreams, and I'm ready to help you do the same. You're in the right spot here if you're ready to dig into not only the strategy of business building, but also the belief in yourself that building a business is possible. You're made for this, and you've got exactly what it takes to create the financial, time, and location freedom you're craving. Over here, we value progress over perfection. We embrace being uncomfortable, and we believe that anything, literally anything you want, is possible for you with the right strategy, mindset, and support. You'll also hear inspiring stories here and, of course, failures of women who are doing the same thing. The whole idea is if she can do it, so can I. Thanks for being here. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. Like always, I say this every time. I'm so excited that you are here with me, and I have a very special guest here with us today. It is Kristi, and I'm already going to butcher your last name. So tell me how to say your last
name. You got it.
Chaves. Okay, Chaves. I even wrote it down phonetically, and I still can't get it right. But Kristi is a business coach, and her IG bio says she is a mentor to build businesses that outlive trends and fund your life's vision, which I absolutely love that, and I am so excited for this conversation. So welcome, Kristi.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, so why don't we just dive right in? Kristi, share a little bit about you and your background and what you do.
Yes, so I have a very unusual background. I was actually raised, both my parents were coaches themselves. My mom has a movement and meditation leadership business for 50 years. So I was going to meditation workshops when I was 13 years old, and I became a coach when I was 21 years old and never planned to become a coach, never planned to do business coaching, any of it. And so I don't know what a corporate job is like. I've never had one. All I know is coaching.
Oh, that is so cool.
So it was just like a very different upbringing, really was the biggest thing. And both of my parents were entrepreneurs. So I also really got to see and was so modeled how people can be incredible parents, present parents, amazing parents, and run these beautiful businesses and what it did for them. And so it really led me on my journey that someone asked me based off how I was living my life. She said, when I was 21, can you coach my son? I said, sure, I have no idea what I'm doing. Let's do it. $25 an hour. And years later, I had a bunch of people ask me how I grew my business and how to grow a business online because they saw me grow really quickly online. And now I do business coaching. And in the essence of it, it's helping you be more of who you are and bringing your mission and your message to the world. And how do we tactically actually grow a business in a way that supports our life? Because my big passion is not just how much money you can make, but it's also how are you making that money? Is it giving you the space to be with your family, to live your life, to do what's really in your heart to do? Or is it just you have another job called a business that now you're glued to?
Yes. Oh, I love that so much. And that is truly, I think that's why I told you when we first connected too, because you had reached out about the podcast and doing a podcast swap or whatever. And I was like, Kristi, I have to tell you, I get a lot of emails in my inbox of people that I'm like, this is absolutely not a good fit for me, for my audience. But when I read your email and I, of course, as we do, we go over to Instagram and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so perfectly aligned with my audience and also with what I do, because a big part of what I do too is about values aligned strategy and business. Nobody starts a business to be like, I want to replicate my 9 to 5 and be just as stressed out, if not more, in my business. We start them so we have freedom to be with our families, to be moms, to raise our kids, to just have that white space in our days. And so I love this. Like I said, I'm so excited for this conversation. So that's amazing. So tell me, okay, so you built a business from scratch, right? So you didn't start out with a website. You didn't have social media popping off. Your social media is beautiful. Your website is beautiful now. But when you started, I think you didn't have all of that stuff, correct?
No, so I started a little differently. I had so my mom has a business, and I had some clients come in from my mom's, and then naturally, when you do a good job at your work, you naturally get referrals. And then it wasn't until about 4 years ago that I really started to realize, okay, I don't just want referrals. I want to be able to be in control of when more business comes in, because I didn't like the feeling of that I wasn't in control. And that's when I really started learning about online marketing and all of that. But it did start with just someone reaching out to me, and then one referral leads to the next referral, leads to the next referral, and there you are.
Yes, I know. So the question, what I was leading into with that, but like, how do you, I guess it's not really related, but I think it's an important point too, because I think a lot of new coaches think like, well, I'll start when I have the website and when I have like all this other like stuff that doesn't even matter done. Yeah, no. But you've structured your business around like your life and what served you in your life. So not the other way around. Can you speak a little bit to how you did that, how you do that? Because we live in a society, right, where it's like hustle, do more. And I would love to hear your perspective on that.
Totally. Well, I think a few things. And one thing I want to say with the website, I still don't even have a website, just to like give perspective of, and something I really talk a lot about is when you create really incredible offers and client experience, it ends up being a great way that, people stay in your world. They market like my client retention. I would say it's one of the most underrated marketing tool is client retention, and clients wanting to stay with you and have programs that they can stay in. So I just wanted to say that. I am all for it. I actually literally will tell clients, I just told a client last week, I said, absolutely do not pay for that branding and that photo shoot and your website. I was like, you need to know what you're doing first, right? And in the first few years of business, honestly, you're figuring out even who you want to work with, what you want to do, what you're really doing. And so you have no business investing massively in like websites or branding, because you're still in the process of figuring it out. And actually working with people is the best thing. So I firstly just wanted to name that, because I think that that's really important, where people end up honestly spending so much money on things that you're going to want to change in 3 years anyways. And then that's when we actually want to invest in it.
Yeah, I say that all the time. Literally the same conversation. I'm like, no, you got to focus on the revenue generating activities.
Yes.
The other stuff on the back end that you think your brain is making you think that it's important, but it's really like, I'm like, girl, it's like really productive procrastination. Like that's all you do. Like get out there and like hit the pavement, like go work with people, because that's where you learn exactly what you just described, who you want to work with, who you don't want to work with, what you want to coach around, what you want to talk about, what you don't want to talk about.
Yeah, no, totally. And I think also just to emphasize the other question that you were asking about, how do you really build a business around your life? So I was really intentional about, 4 years ago, I always knew I wanted to be a mom, but I was really clear that the way I was building my business, the model I had was not going to be conducive for the type of mom I wanted to be. And I was really filled with like a ton of one-on-ones, and it was great and it was full. But I was working a lot one-on-one, like tons, long hours, and it was amazing. But I knew that I wanted a business that I could run my business, but I could also really be a mom, and I could really do both. And so I actually very intentionally started pivoting my business to make sure that it was set, that I had scalable programs that could grow, that could give clients incredible experiences, but it was not just me on Zoom calls all day long. And that was really like one of the biggest things that shifted for me. And then also, about 2 years ago, my dad unexpectedly passed away. And that was another like, okay, your life matters. Like life living matters more than anything else, And so it was those two experiences of like knowing I wanted to be a mom, my dad passing away, to go, my business has to be built that I can't live with regret. And especially with my dad passing away unexpectedly, it was that moment of, I would be in so much regret if I build a business that I'm missing out on being with people and my husband and my future kids, and now my daughter now. I would be in regret. And so it was my wake up call to really make sure, okay, anything in your business that is not what you really want long term, we need to not put energy towards it, and we just have to focus on the business that you're going to want in 10 years.
Absolutely. I'm so sorry to hear about your dad. That's just so hard. But I think what a gift to have that like realization, right? That like, yeah, you have to have the business. And I talk a lot about sustainability too. And a lot of things that I think we do in the beginning of business are things that are okay, like for a little while, but then after a while you're like, I can't do this forever. When I envision like the version of me that's running my business 10 years down the line, I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to be doing that.
Totally.
So I really, really love that. Thank you.
Totally. Yeah.
You've mentioned a couple times like your thing is creating amazing offers and amazing client experiences. So tell me a little bit about that too.
Okay. Let me tell you, this is the juice. It really is. One of those things in business, they say the thing you're really good at, you're so good at it, you don't even know you're good at it. It just becomes working. That is what this has been for me in my business. So I never learned client retention, offer creation strategies. I actually didn't learn a lot of them. Mm-hmm. And then when I take a step back and I look at my business, my client retention rate right now this year is 98%. That means 98% of the people who work with me stay with me. Mm-hmm. And it's not because I'm like manipulating them into it. It's just because I keep making sure my offers are innovative and what they want and what they need. And again, it's about learning to read people. So because a lot of my past experience is from more embodied leadership from my mom's work, what it has given me is an incredible ability to really learn to read people and read what they need before they need it, right? That's actually what, if we think of emotional intelligence, human intelligence, what it's allowing you to do is like really be in tune to another person. And so this has led me to actually create really incredible offers. So one of the things that I teach a lot and I live by is really making sure that you have offers that are not in the beginning. And I just want to say in the beginning, you're kind of like, cool, my coach said, have X amount of calls, do it this way. Yes, do it. Just do what they said. Whatever your coach is telling you to do, just do it. Okay. And if you don't have a coach, get one because you absolutely need one. But then once you get to a certain point in business, it's no longer just about like the basics of like getting a client in. It's really about how do I create an experience, a client experience that they're like, wow, I feel so met. I feel so seen. I'm getting what I need. And I'm connected to you as the coach and the greater community. That's actually what a great offer does. And it does this in different ways. So one of the ways that I do it is I'm very innovative with my offer. I have only 2 main offers. I run the same program for the last 2 years, and it is not the same program. It's the same program. It's not the same program. It's completely different. I just even had more people for my first round jump back into it, and I've had people in it since my first cohort of it, and they just stay. And it's because you innovate and you look at what do my clients need and what are different ways in which I can give it to them. Because I think, honestly, a lot of times in coaching, especially, we can get a little bit complacent with offers of like, okay, this is working. Now let me just do it again, right? Instead of what are different, because most of what all of us are teaching is so simple actually. Mm-hmm. And it's repetition. It's the repetition, it's the accountability, it's the constant breakthroughs. And so you actually need to get creative in the different ways that you help generate that experience for your clients. Because if it's the same way, they will get bored and then they are not accountable and then they don't do the things and then they don't see the results.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. Now you've got me thinking. I'm like, you're so right. You're so right about the experience part. And it is, I think you're right. Like when we're first starting out, like just start with the simple, like one-to-one, all good. I'm curious, do you mostly work with coaches?
I tend to attract a lot of coaches, but I also have people who, I have copywriters, I work with therapists, I have other people who are also in my programs. I also have like higher level clients who run big businesses. So it just depends, but I do attract, I feel like you end up attracting a lot. And honestly, I've had so many of my own peers. This is how I actually started, is I was in a mastermind and so many of my own peers, and we all invested in the same mastermind. It was like $25,000. And afterwards they were like, you made a lot of progress. How did you do that? How are you doing this business? And that's actually a big part of how I got started, is, and still to this day, I have those girls in my program 2 years later in my programs, because I really understood the simplicity also of business. And I really love to teach the simplicity of business, and then also the embodiment of who you are, and really bringing that through your brand and what you do.
Yes. And that's a big, I noticed on your Instagram too, like embodiment is a big part
Yes.
of what you do. So tell me a little bit about that too. I'm so intrigued.
Yes. Okay. So I think, and especially with business and where business is going, I feel like business is like the new trend, like have a business, and so many people are wanting to be entrepreneurs, which is beautiful. And I think it's the best journey. I think you absolutely should. And it's really the business owners, in my opinion, that are going to actually last with the amount of entrepreneurs that exist, right? The truth is there's tons of people who do. I always say it to me, myself, my clients all the time. There's so many people who do what we do, right? Who do the same thing. Yeah. Why someone hires you is because of who you are. Yep. And this is where it's not enough anymore to just have good knowledge, especially with the rise of AI and everything. It's not enough to just know things. And that's why one of the biggest things that I'm so big about in my programs is really helping women in embodying who they really are. Like, what makes you you? What is unique about you? What's your unique message to the world? And I use a lot of actually somatic work to really help women like come into access with that, because the truth is with sales, with marketing, with all of it, people are hiring you because they feel something when they see you, when they hear you. And if they don't feel something, they're not going to hire you. That's just like point blank, they won't, right? And so that's why your embodiment of your work, and something I'm very big is like live your work. Like you really want to be an embodiment, you want to build your brand around it. And you really want to live what you're sharing about. And it's not about living it perfectly. It's living it imperfectly and letting people see you in that.
Yes. I love it so much. It's so good. Okay. This is kind of like going a different direction. But what has been for you, what would you say has been the hardest part of growing and scaling, starting like your business?
Oh my gosh. So many things. So many things. I would say the hardest part is, really just like where like the overthinking about the right way, like for so long. And especially in those first couple of years of like, there's a right way. There's a thing that's going to make me click. It's going to click. And then that trickles to like so much self-doubt and so much questioning and so much trying things, but not bringing it all the way through. And I really think that has been so hard of like where I personalize business, like where in the past I would like personalize, like, why aren't I, or why can't I, and I think that has been so that was like really challenging for so long, is the questioning of things and if I was doing it right. And then that would lead to like inconsistent behaviors. And one of the biggest things that I learned though in that journey is, so one of the biggest things I love to do is recognize what our core patterns are in business internally, because everyone has internal blocks when it comes to business. I always say like business is your greatest personal growth journey of your freaking life. Like if you want to discover who you are, get a business, right? If you want to be confident authentically, have a business, because it's going to make you face every part of you that you're not confident, right? Every part of you that you don't want to look at. To actually achieve success in business, you have to know how to manage it. And I would say one of the things that I started to do is I started to go, oh, I have a pattern around getting confused. And actually every time I got confused, I was like, I'm in my pattern. I'm not in truth. I'm in my pattern. And so that's actually what helped me, is a lot of the overthinking started to show me like, these are my core patterns. And then I could gain an awareness of these are the patterns. So when I'm in them, I can go, that's the pattern. That's not truth. And now I get to choose to move differently. So now when I go into overthinking or confusion, I can catch it really fast. I'm like, oh, there we are. We're probably just scared. And that's underneath it all. And now I can move through it. And I would say that's honestly been the hardest part, is just the mind looping.
100%. We were kind of just talking about this too before we pressed record, but just this idea that like, you know, becoming a mom, because you're a mom, your daughter you said is almost 1, so congratulations on that. But like when you're pregnant, essentially, you have friends that are like, yeah, it's gonna be hard. And you're like, okay, yeah, I totally got it. And then you're in it and you're like, oh my gosh, what have I done? I feel like it's the exact same with business. Like you're like, oh, I've got this. I'm a smart woman. Like I'm educated. I can figure anything out. I've got this. And then you're in it and you're like, what the fuck? Like, what have I done? So that piece, the part that you just described, the part with your mind and being able to identify those patterns. I love how you worded that. I've never heard it worded like that before, but like those thought patterns that are common and being able to go, no, thank you. Like I'm going to keep moving. That's really cool. What are some common patterns that you see your clients, thought patterns that you see that are slowing them down a bit?
Yeah. I would say a big one, and we were just talking about this on my call yesterday with my clients, is outsourcing your power to clarity. So yeah, it's a sneaky one. Right? Like, once I'm, like we talked about the website, once I'm clear, once the website's out, then I will X, Y, and Z. Yep. And it's really where one big one is that you outsource your power to clarity, right? When I'm clear, then I will be in my power, then I will do the thing, then I will show up. And it's like, and one of the things I was actually sharing about with the gals in my program and myself even of just, you're never 100%, like the whole point of business is innovation. Like entrepreneurship is about innovation. You're never going to be 100% clear and it's going to stay there. And that's why I almost feel like a lot of times what I see is like, there's this false sense, and I get it also with social media and everything of like, I'm going to get there. And it's like, when you get there, then you have your next level of challenges in business that you get to solve. And, you know, James Wedmore says this great quote. He said, you're in the business of problem solving. That's literally what business is you're constantly problem solving. Like, I remember when I scaled up my business to a certain level, it's like, wow, where I am now, like just because I have a scaled business, I have my next evolution of challenges that I'm constantly navigating, right? Yeah. So I think this idea of like clarity or I'm going to get there or it's going to stick is actually keeping a lot of women not in their power and not actually doing what they need to do. And they would actually see results a lot faster if they actually stopped outsourcing to clarity and realized like no one knows what they're doing. And it was so funny. One of my clients literally today, she sent me a voice note and she goes, I just had a wild awareness and I appreciate you sharing so openly with us. She goes, you're just human. You're just a committed human and you show up when you're humaning. And I was like, yeah. I was like, that's the only difference between me and you. That's it.
Absolutely. And I just love the way that you're describing this. There's no end game. Like I have clients tell me, like they'll say to me, gosh, Sandy, like when is it going to be clear? I can't wait until it's clear, until I have clarity. And it's like, no, you're never going to have that. You're comfortable like being in the spot of like constantly evolving and constantly changing things and problem solving, like you said. There's no end game because after you reach one, just like you described, after you just reach that one level, there's just a whole other slew of new things. And that I'm sure continues on and on and on and on. So when the faster we can realize that, the faster we can just be like, okay, let's just be in this uncomfortable spot and get comfortable being not having the clarity, not knowing all the answers, not knowing all the things, and just moving.
Totally.
Okay, before we wrap it up, I had another question. So what would you share, if you don't mind sharing, like a simple framework or daily practice or something you would recommend for creating momentum in business? And also not only that, but sustaining that momentum.
Good question. I would say, you know, one of the biggest things that I think actually helps with momentum is, so I talk about, instead of a lot of people you might hear like mission and values, I talk a lot about like your movement, like the movement you're here to lead in the world. And I really think when you can have a strong connection to your greater movement, and I call it like, it's the impact you want to have on the world. It's your version of a wealthy life. It's whatever that is for you. And typically people are either motivated, so I'll just share, by two things, either by impact on other people or by the life they get to have. and or both. Like me, I'm very motivated by both. I love, my impact is really important to me, and my life is really important to me. And I think that when you're more connected to your movement, the movement you're here to lead in the world, again, for yourself or for the world or for both, you will have an easier time moving through those crunchy moments faster, because the movement becomes more important than the crunch, right? And if the movement, you're not connected enough to the movement, the greater direction that you're moving in, the crunch often will win. It will. It just will. Yeah. So I will say, like, one of the biggest things I do, and like, I'm very big about somatic practices. I think the body is the wisdom. Your body holds every wisdom. Your body can accelerate you in ways beyond the mind. Like, you don't have to get into the mind as much, because the body, the subconscious, unconscious is literally stored in your body. So I'm very big about, and I have actually a practice that I lead them through a lot of, but I would say a daily practice. Like, put on music, put on a song that you're like, this is my jam. This is my, like, my anthem. Okay. Yeah. And close your eyes. Feel into the bigger movement you're here to lead. Like, you were born for a reason. Your business is the vehicle for your expression of who you are. And really let yourself connect with, like, if I were to dream, what is the impact I'm having? Who am I in front of? How many hundreds of thousands of people am I impacting? Or is it just those slow moments with my family? Whatever your version is, close your eyes, play the same song every morning, listen to it, feel it, and just open to what that feels like. Yeah. And then go do your to-do list, and then go write down all the things you need to do. But that's like a really beautiful practice. And I will say, for me, I think that's why I've been able to be so steady in my business through, like, the birth of my daughter and the passing of my dad. Like, my business didn't take a beat at all. And it's because, like, my impact, like, life is gonna life. It is. And it's like, my impact for me, though, is like my source of creation and my source of love for what I'm doing. And I don't just have I say it all the time, I don't just have a business to make money. If I just want to make money, I'd probably do something else. Yeah. I really do it because I love being able to do what I do. And that fuels me.
And what a beautiful thing that that gets to be the thing that allows you to live this beautiful life. Like, and I always tell my clients, I'm like, whatever that life looks like, because my whole thing is like living life on purpose. So being very intentional about your time, your energy, and allowing your business to create that for you. And like, I mean, like, I'm always like, I'm not fancy. Like, literally the reason I started my business was because I wanted to pick my kids up from school every day. Like, that's it. Like, that's all I'm looking for here. Yeah. But that's really, I really love that. So thank you so much for sharing it.
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to.
Yeah. Okay. So anything else you want to share before we sign off? I would love for you to share, like, where we can find you and your website and all the good things that you have going on right now.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I firstly just want to say this has been a pleasure, and it's so fun to talk about. And I also just want to say, in business, like, it is so worth it. It is every bump, every challenge you hit, you will hit a point where you're like, it was all really worth it. And it really is. And I feel that every single day. Like, it really is worth it. And I really think if you truly do it purposefully, you also will wake up to a version of yourself that you're like, damn, I didn't even know she was in there. I didn't even know she was in there. And here she is. So I just want to say that for everyone, like, building a business, I think it's really just important to know, like, every hard moment is worth it, because you're choosing to pave an unconditional path, which is like the beautiful part of business.
I agree 100%. Yes.
Yeah. So, and yes, come find me. You can come to my Instagram, come say hello. I'm very big about, my community, people, and I would love to have you just say hello to me, say you listen to the podcast. And I have lots of different things that I can share with you from there. And I don't have a website, as I mentioned, so that's where you can find me.
Awesome. I love it so much. Well, thank you so much, Kristi. This is wonderful. I know that my people are going to love it. I know your people love you and love it. Yeah. So thank you for sharing your joy and your goodness and your message with us today. So thank you.
Of course.
All right, you guys, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, you guys. If you're ready to get your business going and making money and to step into that next level version of you, I would love to support you make that happen through strategy, mindset work, and my Cut the BS style coaching, because it's always better, quicker, and more fun to have someone who's already been through it support you. Shoot me a message over on Instagram with the word ready, and we can chat and get your questions answered about coaching and how I can support you. I cannot wait to hear from you.